Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Total Body Strength. We have a total body workout plan for us. In terms of equipment, we need one set of dumbbell. I always recommend two, a heavier one and a lighter one. But we're working on a little bit of everything today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our demo. We're going to do 3 rounds of this workout, 45 seconds or 15 seconds of rest/transition time. And we're going to start off with some goblet squats here. So what we're going to do, we're going to hold our dumbbell. You can also hold 2 dumbbells if you'd like to make it heavier. We're going to hold it right underneath the chin. Palms are up. Feet are going to be hip width apart here, and we're going to do 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. So we're going to come down, 1, 2, 3. We're going to pause for a second at the bottom and come up, 1, 2, 3. So we're driving the big heel, big toe, little toe through the ground as we come up. We want to feel this in the quads and in the glutes. And then after that, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to grab my lighter dumbbells for this. So after, we're going to do a hammer curl into a press. So we're going to have dumbbells in our hands. Our palms are going to face each other. We're going to bring the dumbbells towards the shoulders, and then we're going to press up overhead and back down. So from this angle, we're keeping those elbows in front, straight up, palms face each other the whole time. So we're going to work the biceps and shoulders there. And then for this next one, we can either do this body weight or with your dumbbells, whatever feels good. Arms were getting cut off there. We're going to do reverse lunges. We're going to pause for 3 seconds at the bottom. We're in the top of our space. We're going to step back, knee past the second toe. 1, 2, 3. Drive that front heel through the ground, come back up. And then we'll go to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Driving through and stand up. So we're going to alternate there, hold at the bottom for 3 seconds. Again, dumbbells or no dumbbells, whatever feels good for you today. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do bent over rows into tricep kickbacks. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart here. We're going to push our hips back, hands staying outside of the legs. We're going to drive the elbows up. Then we're going to kick our pinkies towards the ceiling and back down. So we're squeeze through the back of the armpit, feel it in the back, kicking out, feel it at the back of the arms and back down. And then after that, we're going to be on the ground. So first off, we're going to do glute bridge marches, working on our pillar here. So feet hip width apart, drive the heels through the ground. We want to try and keep that pelvis tucked and our core engaged, and one knee at a time coming up. Really engage the other glute before driving the opposite knee up. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab our dumbbells and we're going to do a core assist with a dead bug hold. We're going to hold the dumbbells here above our arms. We're breathing like we're breathing through a straw, holding that core nice and tight, bringing it all together, and we're going to hold just like that. So that is going to be our whole circuit for today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up. And what we're going to do first is we're going to do some quadruped rocks with our adductor stretch. We're going to open up those hips. So we're going to take one foot from the hands and knees straight out to the side like a kickstand. We're going to keep that pinky toe on the ground. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to inhale, rock back. Exhale, come forward. Rocking back. Bringing that glute all the way to the heel as far as we can. Squeeze the glute, come back up. We're going to do 2 more, rocking back. Keeping that core engaged so the back is nice and flat. Exhaling up. And last one, coming down. And exhaling back up. Once we're done with that last one, we can go ahead and bring that knee back up underneath the hip. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm switching my angle here. So opposite leg, keep that pinky toe on the ground. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, coming back. And exhaling forward. 2 more, rocking back. Breathe into the belly, opening up those hips, coming forward. And last one, rocking back. And exhaling forward. And once we finish that last one, we can go ahead and bring that knee back up underneath our hip. And then we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to go ahead and do some rotation through the upper body. So I'm going to start with my left hand. We're going to inhale, reach through in between the right arm, right leg. Watch that hand. And we're going to exhale, bring that same hand towards the ceiling. Looking at our hand the whole time. We're going to inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. And one more, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. Now we can go ahead and bring that hand back up underneath our shoulder. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. And reaching through. Reach a little further this time. And opening up. And last one, reaching through. And opening up. And we can go ahead and plant that hand back up underneath our shoulder. Then we can go ahead and make our way onto our feet. We're going to get ready for our goblet squats. So getting our dumbbell ready here. 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up, 45 seconds of work. Getting the timer going here in 3, 2, 1, and go. We got our dumbbell. Whoops. Underneath the chin, so palms are facing up. Feet are hip width apart here. We're coming down for 3 seconds. Pausing, and then coming up for 3 seconds. So really driving through the heel, big toe, little toe, making sure that as we stand up, our hips are right underneath the shoulders and above the feet. We're not coming super far forward, standing nice and tall here. We can even squeeze that orange between our shoulder blades. The inside part of the knee is right over the second toe at the bottom. Great job. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our hammer curl into press. So we're going to have our palms facing each other as we do our hammer curl and our press. 3, 2, 1. So our core is engaged. So we're zipping that core up, bringing each side of our six pack together. Want to act like we're punching the ceiling, but also keeping the controlling the weight on the way down. Right. Moving with intent, making sure, I like to imagine that we're still squeezing that orange and also squeezing through the back of the armpit. So that way our upper back is nice and tall. And as we are overhead, our shoulders and our ears have a nice gap there. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, reverse lunges. We're pausing for 3 seconds at the bottom, and then we're coming back up. We're going to alternate. So you can do 0 weight. You can do your lighter dumbbells or heavier, whatever you like. 3, 2, 1. So we're at the top of our space. We're going to step back, knee over the second toe, chest over the arch of the front foot. Pausing for 3 seconds, driving through that front heel to stand back up. So we're coming back 1, 2, 3. Really making sure our weight is forward and our hips are back. If our weight is back, we're just going to feel that in the quad of our leg in the back. Not what we want here. The goal is to feel it primarily in the front leg when we stand up. We're also going to feel it a little bit in the quads, but not as much as we should in that front glute. 3, 2, 1. All right, those are fun. Next up, bent over row into tricep kickback. So we're driving through the elbow. 3, 2, 1. Feet hip width apart, bring that butt to the belly button. Push those hips back like we're closing the door. We're going to drive the elbows up, keep the hands outside of our legs. And then we're going to break that glass again with our pinky. So we have that glass all the way across our back. we're gonna break it twice. So we break it with the elbows, then with the pinkies. So we're gonna feel this in our upper back and also in the backs of our arms. Great job. Keeping those hands outside of our legs, palms face each other the whole time. 3, 2, 1. Great job, y'all. All right, next up we have glute bridge marches, and then we're gonna do our dead bug hold. And then we'll go ahead and do that 2 more times through. All right, 3, 2, 1. So we wanna keep that core engaged, so zip that core up, drive the heels through the ground until our hips are up. We want those headlights on our hips to blind the ceiling the whole time. We're gonna exhale, drive the opposite heel into the ground so that glute is engaged, zipping the core up. So really wanna keep our core engaged, so that way our hips and our pelvis are all even. We don't wanna be rocking back and forth. So we wanna keep our core zipped up nice and tight. We exhale like we're breathing through a straw, bringing our ribs and everything down and together. Bringing each side of that 6-pack together. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job, y'all. Last up, we got dead bugs with a core assist. So grab your dumbbells. You can choose whichever weight you'd like. We're gonna hold that dead bug. 3, 2, 1. So knees are directly above the hips. When our knees are a little bit too close, that's gonna activate our hip flexors more than the core. Breathing through that straw, zipping the core up. So imagining both sides of your 6-pack are being brought together. So it's not necessarily just sucking in that is core activation, it's bringing it all together. That's what I want us to imagine here. This can help with any low back pain we get from sitting down. Sometimes low back pain is, a weak core, but also weak glutes and hamstrings. So we're getting all of that working today. 3, 2, 1. All right, round 1 is done. We're standing back up. We got goblet squats. 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up. We're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So feet hip width apart, toes forward. Coming down. 1, 2, 3, and back up. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna face this way for a second. So as I come down, you notice my knees are falling out. So when I'm at the bottom, the inside part of the knee is directly over the second toe. We want our knees to fall out naturally. We don't want to push our knees out. So what happens, this is what it looks like when I'm pushing my knees out. This is as low as I can go. That really hurts my hips. But when I let the knees kind of track that way, I can go all the way down. 3, 2, 1. So really letting those knees come forward. Next up, we got curl to press. So we're doing our hammer curls into our shoulder press. So palms are facing each other. 3, 2, 1. So palms face each other. Bring those hands all the way to the shoulders and then pushing our hands overhead. So we're gonna use the biceps. We want to also come all the way down. You should be able to pause at the bottom. I don't want to see any momentum. So if the weight is too heavy and we're finding ourselves having to swing it up, drop the weight. We're not moving with that intent if we're swinging the weights. We want to control the weight up, control the weight down. Again, we want to feel it in the biceps as we curl up and in the shoulders as we press up. So that's our goal here. Mind to muscle connection, we're working on it. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, next up we have reverse lunge. 3-second pause. So we're gonna be at the top of our space. Again, choose whichever dumbbell you would or would not like to use. 3, 2, 1. So stepping back, knees forward. 1, 2, 3. Driving through that heel, big toe, little toe of the front foot. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I say this every time. But I like to move a little bit slower on my right side to make sure I really am feeling it in the glutes as I stand up. You might have something similar where one side is just not as active or awake as the other side. So just being really mindful, noticing where you feel or don't feel the movement, practicing that intent. 3, 2, 1. All right. And we have our row to kickback next. So keeping that core brought all together. 3, 2, 1. So also bringing our butt to belly button so our back is nice and flat. Close the door behind us with the butt. Drive the elbows, break the glass, and then break the glass again with those pinkies. We're going to squeeze through the armpit, pretending like we have a piece of paper in between our arm and our body. Don't let that paper fall. We should feel that activating our lat muscles, or the muscles is the largest muscle in our back. And it goes all the way from our pelvis to our shoulder, going all along the side of our backs. So it's really good for posture. 3, 2, 1. I forgot to kick back those last few. All right, back on the ground. We got glute bridge marches and then dead bug hold. And then we got one more round and we're gonna be on with the rest of our day. 3, 2, 1. So tugging our pelvis. We want on the ground, we want enough room for a little grape to fit under in between our back and the ground. Now we're gonna drive the heels up, zipping that core up, one knee at a time. So when my left knee is up, my right glute is engaged. If you need to, it helps sometimes to give your mind a little boost. Place your hands over your glutes, making sure they are engaging and firing the way we need them to. We want to stay nice and stable through our hips and torso. This movement really helps build that hips and torso. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to do our dead bug hold. But what it does when we work on our pillar, which is our shoulders, hips, and torso, it helps every other movement we do feel a little easier. 3, 2, 1. Because when we think of our pillar, it's really like the foundation of our movement. So when we have a strong pillar, so shoulders, hips, and torso, we then can squat better. Our arms and legs can kind of pull from our pillar a little bit easier. So it makes not only the movements that we do inside of our classes or sessions, it also helps move outside of the gym, which is always my goal for everyone. I want to help make life easier for y'all, take away, some aches and pains, build up some strength here to live an overall better and easier life outside of the gym. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job, y'all. We got one more round to go. My glasses for sure got fucked up on that one. All right. Goblet squats, last round of these. 3, 2, 1. So coming down, 1, 2, 3, and up, 1, 2, 3. So this is a prime example of a strong pillar. When our core, that torso, is engaged, I can now push a little harder through the legs. I can push more weight because my pillar is strong. So I'm not going to hurt my back. I'm not going to hurt anything. We're just strengthening now our legs. That was way too fast. My apologies. I forgot to count. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those for today. Grabbing 2 dumbbells now. We got hammer curl into shoulder press. It's getting hot in here this morning. 3, 2, 1. Palms face each other the whole time. Keeping that core tight. So same thing. We want to keep everything down and together through our torso and hammer and press up. if we're finding that as we press up, our ribs are sticking out, our back is arching, we need to, drop the weight down. Also need to work a little bit more on our mobility of our upper back and our shoulders. So if you're having that issue, let me know. We can work on that at a different time. Definitely always happy to help with that. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those. We got reverse lunges with our 3-second hold, and then we got rows. Then we're on the ground for the rest of the class. 3, 2, 1. So stepping back, holding 1, 2, 3. I like to incorporate things like slowly lowering or raising or pauses like this, because it makes the movement a little bit more challenging without increasing our weight or the time that we're working, anything like that. So it's just a tool. Tempo is a great thing to kind of add in when we're starting to build that strength. We need a little bit more of a challenge. I know this is definitely a hard one, which is why I put it in here today. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got rows to kickbacks. Then we're on the ground. Take a breath. We got this. 3 more to go. 3, 2, 1. Tucking that pelvis. Slight bend of the knee. Push the door closed. Drive the elbows. Break that glass. We want to feel it again through. We're going to feel it a little bit in the upper back, but also along the sides. So that's the goal. And then, of course, we're going to feel it in our triceps, the back of the arms there. Great job. Really break that glass. We don't have to have our chest parallel with the ground. We can be slightly raised. The placement of the chest doesn't necessarily affect the movement. We just want to sink into those hips. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are on the ground. We got glute bridge marches and then dead bugs. And then we're going to do a little bit of Pretzel. And then we'll go on with the rest of our days. 3, 2, 1. So keep locking the core. So bring everything together and down. Drive through those heels, hips in the air. Finding a good foot placement too. We want our feet to be, if our feet are too far out and away, we're going to feel that in the hamstrings. If they're too close to the butt, we're only going to feel it in the quads. So we got to be Goldilocks here for a second. Find just right to feel it in the glutes. Exhaling as we drive the knee up. We're doing awesome. Working on our pillar. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right, last movement. Dead bug hold. We're pushing that pillar. Ooh, we're pushing. All right, getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So we're holding here. We should really only feel this in the core. If we're feeling it in the legs, go ahead and reset. We really want to loosen up the legs. We want to pull that core together and down. Breathe through that straw. We're finishing strong. My core is starting to shake. I don't know about anyone else, but I do love these for our core activation and engagement. So it teaches us really how to use the core, which, like I said earlier, is very important for all movements that we do inside and outside of the gym. 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And we're going to go ahead and make our way onto our side for some Pretzel. So go ahead. You can pick whichever side you like. Start on this side. And once we're on our side here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring our knee up, over and across our body, Knee and ankle are going to stay on the ground. Our bottom hand is going to go on top of that knee. And with our top hand, we're going to grab onto the bottom foot or ankle. We're going to inhale to prepare. And we're going to exhale, bring that top shoulder towards the ground. It's going to help us open up our quads, our back, our glutes, our upper back, pretty much everything that we worked on today, and also anything that might be tight just in general from working and all that fun stuff that we do every day. We're doing nice big deep breaths in through the nose, into the belly, and exhaling, sighing away all the tension that we feel in our bodies. Letting the body sink further into the ground with each exhale. Let's go ahead and do one more deep breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release the bottom leg. And when we're ready, we can roll over onto the other side. And we are going to do the same checklist here. So we're going to have our top leg is going to come up, over and across our body. Knee and ankle stay on the ground. Bottom hand on top of the knee. Top hand grabs onto the bottom foot or ankle. We're going to inhale to prepare. And we're going to exhale, opening that top shoulder towards the ceiling / ground. Same thing, inhaling nice and deep into the belly. And exhaling through the mouth, sighing away the tension we feel in our bodies, letting our bodies sink further into the ground. Probably releasing that tension today. Even do a little bit of a mindset reset. Just clearing our minds, taking a minute to ourselves with our eyes closed, trying to relax as much as we can. We're going to go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, you can gently release that bottom leg. And then feel free to stay on the ground if you'd like, or you can go ahead and roll over back into a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that is going to be all the time for today's class. So thank you for joining me. We got the rest of our schedules lined up for today and tomorrow, same as usual. And then tomorrow, if you come to class, you'll see me from home instead of here, because if you didn't know, we are not open anymore on Fridays. So, but we'll still have classes. So thank you for coming. Great job. And I'll see you soon.